Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 628. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today's Friday, September 15th,
Can't believe it's the
2023.
15th already. Yeah.
Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns. And my work week has been insane, so this is probably going to be the Laura show.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, you have stuff to talk about with your trip.
I do have stuff to talk about. So I have lots of knitting too.
Okay, well, that's what the show's generally focused on, so.
I have zero spinning because I was traveling, but I took a roundabout way to get to Wisconsin.
Yep.
So I flew to Wisconsin sheep and wool, which was lovely, and I enjoyed it immensely and had a great time hanging out with friends. But the way there, Southwest flew me to Orlando and then there, and I had like a 4-hour layover. So the Orlando airport has lots of good food. I got Jersey Mike's. It made me happy. Leslie knows I love Jersey Mike's so much. And then on the way back, I flew through Denver, but there were tons of cancellations going on the East Coast because of weather. So I ended up getting home like an hour and a half later than expected.
Yeah, because I was with her parents when they got the notification that your flight wasn't going to come in until after midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get home till 1:30. By the time the luggage dropped and everything, it was a long
Did
night.
they both come get you, or?
Oh, no.
Just your mom?
Mom came with Dad's phone.
Yeah.
So, and they left their car keys at my house. One of the sets.
Oh,
They had
I was
another
like,
set.
how?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Magic. So anyway, they're like, I need to mail them. Actually, that's on the list of things to do tomorrow. So things that I'm working on. I have picked back up the Floodlight Tea out of Oink Pigments, and I'm just knitting around and around and around on that. It is, I think it's like Pig Taco is the colorway, and it's their linen base. That's the fingering weight one. I think it's Coven, but that might be the heavier one. I'm trying to remember.
It's the silk linen blend.
Yep. So hopefully this will get some work done on it. Oh, I actually have a tag. Hold, please. It is Pigs, Doom, and Tacos. And it is the Coven base. So it's 460 yards. I know,
I don't know what that is.
it's fuzz off the linen silk.
Oh.
Yeah. It does like fuzz a little bit. So it's 460 yards of 100 grams, 65% silk, 35% linen. And that's the silk that kind of fuzzes a little bit. I was spinning a cashmere silk on my support spindles, and I got up and it was like all over me.
Cashmere is notoriously a short fiber, and it'll do that to you.
But it's perfect for supported spindling. So I did take spindling with me to Wisconsin. Anyway, this is being on, I think, 4s.
I feel like you said it was 4s, because I was swatching something.
Nope,
on
3s.
4s. Oh, okay.
On size 3 needles. So teeny tiny needles. But yeah, and it's living in a Fat Squirrel old Halloween bag. There are some new Fat Squirrel Halloween bags that just arrived at my house.
Not even looking.
They're not here yet. And then the other things that I've been working on have been all the socks. So, I finished... Nope, we're not doing finished. We're doing in progress. Neither of those are in progress. They're both finished. I am in the midst of working on a Superwash BFL hand-spun sock. So this is Greenwood Fiber Works, and it's a Superwash BFL nylon blend. So I have this one left to do. This is the second sock. And then I also have some hip strings. This is what the ball looks like. I've already done the first. It looks like this. And I'm about to start the second, because I had to buy a pair of size 0 needles at the festival, because I left the ones that I was going to knit on at the house, and it was just, I had nothing to work on. I had to buy needles. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So that is all that I have in progress right now. But I have lots of finished objects. But you're knitting on stuff in progress. It's really pretty too.
So in my continuing quest to knit my SSK stash from this year,
I didn't even see you buy that one.
this is from Woolens and Nosh. I bought it when we bought our lot or whatever. So this
show
is
colorway.
Cornucopia, and this is in her fingering weight. And I actually had to. This is the which base is this? I want to say it's the Targi base. Yeah, this is the Targi base. I actually had to go up to 1.5s because I tried it on ones and like my knuckles were sore at how tight it was. Because the Targi is like a fluffier base than your typical merino.
It's got a lot of spring to it.
Yeah. So it's a fingering weight yarn, so I'm using a size 1.5.
I'm knitting mine on size 0s to compare.
So yeah, I just started this, restarted it after I tried it on the ones. And I've been working on it a little bit while I've been working. I've worked every day for the past 14 days. And every day I've worked at least 10 hours, except for Sunday when I only worked 5, and today I only worked 8. So it's been super busy at work, and I've had to be on camera literally from the time I sign on until I leave, and I hate that a lot. I mean, I guess you wouldn't think it having a video podcast for 14 years, but like I don't enjoy being on camera. So anyhow,
I think work being on camera and podcast being on camera are a little bit different.
Well, plus like here I've got a whole setup for the camera, and like, you know, it's far enough away that you don't see my like pores, and my camera at work is much more like right in my face, so I can see every like imperfection, and there are a lot of imperfections, and genuinely I don't typically care, but if I have to look at it for 8 hours a day, I do start to care. So anyway, the socks are living in my Fat Squirrel carrot booty bag from this past year's SSK. And the only other knitting really that I've got, ooh, the yarn got caught in the,
oh, that's the worst when it gets caught on the zipper.
yeah, come on, you little bugger. Try. Why don't you talk about your finished objects while I try to fix this?
I can totally do that. So finished object wise, I finished 3 pairs of socks.
3 pairs of socks.
Well, some of them were already, I mean, all of them had 1 sock done. So I just knit the 2nd sock. So these were the Knit Spin and Farm sport weight socks that I knit on size 1 needles. I had one all the way done, and then at the festival on Friday I knit the other one. So these went fairly quick, and I got to sit around and talk to folks, and it was lovely. And yeah, so those are done. I have the new Knit Spin Farm to wind to cast on for another pair of socks. I like keeping one of her pairs of socks going at all times. And that is living in a fat scroll bag. And I've attached a bunch of tape measures to the outside, so it makes it easy to keep up with measuring with my sock bags. And then other pairs of socks. Hi, Buffy. Buffy is right here on the floor, and she's adorable. I finished the Ingle Nook, and they are very much fraternal twins, but this was the vintage Bordeaux mohair down breed blend. So those are done and ready to be worn. And then I finished the 2nd superwash sock. The first one I've already worn because I'm doing an experiment for Ply Magazine with it. So the 2nd one is done. So that's 3 separate socks And then I cast on the 4th in the airport. So I was feeling good about myself. If I had pushed it, I probably could have almost gotten 4 done. But there were points where I was just like, you need to chill and not just knit socks.
Alright, I'm just going to have to do it, John, because I can't do that.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Annoying, but I should have wrapped them before I put them in. Alright, well, now I can at least show you guys what I'm working on.
Yep, those are all my finished objects. But, look, I have my cute little, this was last year's, like, autumnal fat squirrel bag. I feel like Amy Bass should sponsor the show at this point, and I'd be totally okay with that.
I feel like we sponsor Amy Bass.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we do, in a very real way. We are huge
Patreons,
fans of
yes.
everything that she does, and we support her on Patreon. Because she's a lovely human and puts out enjoyable content.
Yep.
So, alright.
I want to see the sweater because I haven't really seen it since you were doing the ribbing, I think.
So, yeah, and I was so confident about it not being twisted. It was twisted.
Oh no.
But that's okay. I just made it work on the second row because I was not undoing that.
Yeah, I love it when you can fix a twisted joint on the second row, but after that, you cannot.
Not without it being very noticeable and like hitching up. So anyway, this is the sweater that I'm knitting. It's called Halfway. It's Intarsia in the round, although in all reality all Intarsia is flat really. So it's made with the same fingering weight color throughout, but the lace weight that you hold with it, that color changes. So I am about, I don't know, 2 inches in, maybe. So this is the front. This is that peekaboo panel.
I love that.
Through the front.
That's really cute.
It's very mindless because it's just knitting and then purling and then knitting and then purling. It gets a little annoying juggling the yarn balls, but I also have like 350 stitches on the needles, so it doesn't happen that often. I've been watching it, I've been knitting on it while trying to rewatch Discovery of Witches, that show that they made the books based on.
The books work first and then the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I not say that?
Yeah, I think you reversed it.
Okay.
I could be wrong though because I had a day today.
Yeah, it was Deborah Harkness wrote the books and then the series came later. It's on HBO Max. I think it was a Max show. I like the first season, but I'm in the second season, and that's where I gave up before because they time walk and travel back to like the 1600s, and I just don't care. Like, time travel is the one thing. Time travel and ghosts. Like, those enter the picture, and I'm just like, I'm out. I don't care anymore. But I'm trying because I liked the series generally speaking. But it did tend to have the same problems that Diana Gabaldon has.
Outlander!
Where they'll spend 2 pages talking about the taste of wine, and it's like, I don't need that much information about every single thing.
That detail's not your jam?
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Anyhow. Yeah, I finished a pair of socks for my friend, but they're downstairs, I think.
They're the ones that you've been showing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've showed them the past couple of weeks.
The Miser Brothers.
So,
just one of my favorite Christmas.
And then the quilts went with Mama Linneman.
Yes.
I met with the Linnemans on Sunday. Laura wasn't here, but we met and had dinner, and I gave her my quilt. She gave me some tapes that she wants Michael to digitize, and paid me in English muffins.
I was gonna say, I heard you got English muffins.
Yeah, I've already eaten 6
cleaned
of
out
them.
my cabinets for me, which was nice.
She's funny. She said, Laura's gonna be mad at me, and I was like, what did you move?
I mean, true
She's
story.
like, no, I went through a refrigerator and like got rid of some expired stuff and like rechanged this, and I was like, yeah, she's probably gonna be a little annoyed until she gets used to it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, she moved some stuff around that I haven't figured out what she moved yet, but I've noticed like things are not where they like I know things that were in that cabinet are no longer in that cabinet, so I haven't opened the cabinet to see what she moved.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But
She
the
also
Lemons are
planted
good
a
people.
tree.
Yes, she did in the front.
And put in a garbage disposal for me,
Yes.
which was the main task.
Yeah.
And then I think our lawn guy's mad at me because she like did the lawn care in the back, and he came and he was like, because he was gonna do a lot of like along my fence, trees have grown, and he was gonna take care of that for me, but Mom did it, and I think he was a little irked that happened.
He probably thinks you hire someone else.
I did not.
But yeah, that went with Mama Lemon, and I started working on while I've been on calls this week. I've like had time to like match up some pieces for quilt piecing, and that's about it. Haven't really done much with sewing or quilting. I read a good book this week.
What'd you read?
It was called Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. It was.
I know her. She writes young adult stuff.
Yeah,
Paranormalcy is hers.
She used to be in the Mormon church.
Oh.
And is not any longer. And this book it takes a while, but it sort of reflects that to some degree. But it's a pretty good book. It was about this children's series that. Have you heard of the what's it called? The Mandela effect?
Yes.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like where things from your childhood, or not necessarily your childhood, but things you remember are not how you remember them. An example is like the Berenstain Bears. I remember the Berenstain Bears being spelled with like stain, Stain.
No, it's Stan.
But that's one example. There's a ton of examples.
Yeah, like with logos especially, people remember things differently.
Or things like it's called the Mandela effect because there's a huge number of people who remember Nelson Mandela being released from prison, and I want to say it was like the early 90s or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that's the general, like, that's the name for that sort of occurrence. And so the book is based on this TV show that everybody remembers, but there's no like proof of it. And there's all this internet gossip about it, and the child stars that were on it are meeting back up for something. And
interesting.
It's a really interesting book. And concept. I liked it. I will probably read it again at some point. I am reading or listening to Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King.
He's got a new book out.
I know. And so it's called Holly. And so I looked at the description of it, and it focuses on Holly Gibney, who is a character who shows up in The Outsider. She's a private detective. She's kind of autistic. Or she has some autistic tendencies. I don't know that she specifically says in the show that she's autistic. And so I liked her character a lot. And I read up, and apparently she originally shows up in Mr. Mercedes. So even though I didn't really like Mr. Mercedes, because it's about like a killer, not serial killer, but like it's a guy who drives into a crowd of people and kills a bunch of people, including a baby. And
purposefully?
In the first half hour, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's the tip of the iceberg with this dude. So, I like more, like, science fiction, horror type stuff. And, but I wanted to get the full backstory on Holly before I
moved on to that one.
Yeah, so.
Gotcha.
And I had listened to The Outsider and really liked it. So anyway, that's what I've been listening to and reading. What about you?
I've been reading a ton of male hockey romances because hockey season comes soon and I miss it, and I've just been enjoying that fluff. Football's back, so I didn't get to watch football a whole lot, pro football this past week. I was mad at Prime because Prime had the Eagles game on last night, but my Prime was down.
Aww.
It was like all of the Memphis area was down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So that was a little annoying. I wanted to watch the Eagles, but Nakobe's not playing anyways. He's out injured.
Oh, already?
For 4 weeks. Yeah, he's got like a high ankle sprain. But I wanted to see him on the sideline if he was on the sideline. And then I've been listening to Alana Andrews, like on my travels,
Mm-hmm.
which was lovely. I love my noise canceling headphones from Bose. They are like the jam when you were traveling. Even if I'm not listening to anything, I'll
Mm-hmm.
have them on sometimes.
I bought mine specifically for our trip to Scotland.
Yes.
And I use them every single day. Every single day.
Yeah. So I use them a lot when we do Zooms.
Yeah.
Because it cuts down on the Pearl background noise. But yeah, just had just a great trip to Wisconsin. The Madison people are so sweet. There's a puppy outside barking.
He's yipping because he wants to be let in.
It was just lovely. We rented a house. We ate lots of great food. We saw lots of great people. They have like an area that they just set up lawn chairs in, and just like I just sat in it for most of Saturday.
That's
I got
awesome.
a little sunburn Friday doing the same. We had shade on Saturday. We set up like a canopy. People could stop by and just we had open chairs. Emily had this like hammock chair that was amazing.
I've seen those.
And I asked my parents for that for Christmas because they sell them at Costco.
Mm.
I got to sit in it. Got to do some great shopping. Saw the Bumblebee Acres girls. Got some gorgeous Jacob from I think Roundhouse Farm. Got tons of buttons from Dusty, vintage buttons, and just had like a really, really good time. Oh, I got to spend a lot of time with Kimber, fiber optic.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
So that was lovely, and yeah, just stopped by a bunch of booths from people that go to SSK. Oh, the lady who has the glitter wall from SSK was in Bricolage Studios booth, and she uses it every day.
Oh, really?
She just was so excited.
Good, I'm glad.
And was like, she had a glitter coat that she was wearing.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of her. I'm glad she likes it. She's using it.
She uses it all the time, and it was nice to see Emily at Bricolage. I got some stuff from her. It was just a lovely trip, and even though I said I wasn't gonna get fleece, I split a fleece with Beth. So we split a coop worth of fleece, and the lady. So it wasn't. I didn't even go to the fleece sale. So it was in a booth that I went to go see because she had Cormo and Coopworth. And she had pre-done roving, but I walked in and this fleece was right there, and she's like, I'll lay it out on the floor for you. You can see how well it's skirted. And I was like, you don't have to put it on this dirty floor. It's coated, and like 6 pounds was under $100. And then we split it, so then it was like under $50. And we gave some to Emily and gave some to someone else who wanted fleece. So yeah, we spread the fleece joy out around so that people could try fleece for the first time. But yeah, it was just, I think Christine got some too, and I got to hang out with Christine and Amanda, which was lovely too. We went to a supper club, which is a Wisconsin thing.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what those words mean.
Yeah, it's just like a restaurant that it reminds me of like a VFW a little bit. Anyway, it was just, and we found the best breakfast place, and I got real breakfast for 2 days in a row, like not biscuit nonsense. I had omelets with rye toast.
Actual cooked food that didn't have bacon grease in it?
Yes, and it was amazing. And pie, fruit pie. We stopped by a diner that had like 8 flavors of pie.
I do miss that about Jersey, is all the diners.
Diners, yes. There are so many diners. Excellent Thai food. I am obsessed with Thai food because there's no place here to get it.
Yeah. Jersey has some really good ones, but there's just nothing here.
But anyway, it was a lovely trip. If you stopped and said hi to me, thank you so much. So, yeah, that's my trip. It was wonderful. It was like, it filled my bucket. And next time I'm going to fly into Chicago. and it's going to be a direct flight, and it's going to be an hour, and then Christine's going to pick me up, and I'm going to spend the night at the farm. She doesn't know that I'm spending the night at the farm. Spend the night at the farm.
Do you mind end up with some chores?
Pet all the sheep, chase after some chickens, play with the goats. It's going to be amazing. I'm trying to convince Leslie that she should come too.
I have a harder time with short trips that require a lot of travel. And by a lot of travel, I mean like more than 6 hours in the car or any trip to the airport, period.
So, next year will be a short flight, but also I'm going on Wednesday. If I go, so
it
Wednesday
just takes
to
more
Sunday.
spoons for me.
Yeah,
than
I
it
know.
does for
I
you.
know. I know. It does. Absolutely.
Um,
And we had s'mores. We had a fire pit.
I was thinking about s'mores yesterday. I was like, I should get stuff for s'mores.
Yes.
You should look if our place in Kentucky
Yes.
or wherever has a fire pit. I can't remember.
Absolutely.
What else? Oh, I keep getting this TikTok. I don't care at all about football. Like, I'm not saying it's dumb or anything. I'm just saying I personally don't care about it. But I keep getting this thing on TikTok for this guy on the Dolphins who's apparently the funniest guy ever, and they keep him mic'd up. And he's always like...
That's a very Michael thing.
I know. He's
It's
always
Dolphins.
like ripping on the other players and like... I don't know who he is. I can't remember, but... like it's just very like happy and silly, and I don't see a lot of that in football typically. So, but I mean, I also don't watch football, so maybe it's always there, and I just don't see it.
That's hilarious that you're getting Dolphins
I don't know
stuff.
how.
It's talking to Michael's. Your phone's talking to Michael's phone. 100%.
I mean, that definitely could be part of it. But
my internet fixed itself.
magic.
It healed.
Right before Laura went out of town, her internet was like dying every 3 hours or something.
Yeah. And then once my parents reset it was fine.
Just needs a magic touch of your mom.
Apparently.
Mom's magic touch. That'll be our episode.
There you go. She's pretty awesome. And she had a birthday too.
Yes, she did. I put it in my phone, and now I need to put your dad's birthday in my phone because I'll absolutely forget his too.
11/7/54.
11/7. Okay. My dad turned 70 this year.
Wow.
He's still working.
Yeah.
He's on a cruise currently
Nice.
in the
Where are they
Caribbean.
going? Okay. They missed the hurricane. That's good.
Yeah. Every time he goes on a cruise, which is about every year and a half, 2 years, he makes sure to bring me a copy of his will,
Oh.
a copy of his house keys, like, and I'm like, are you okay? But
I have digital versions of a lot of that.
my dad's not as tech savvy as we.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's it. If you are a Patreon supporter, we thank you.
Yes. We're going to do a fail along soon.
Yeah, we're going to do scrape art, I think,
Yes.
for this month. And then we'll have a VKN the last Sunday of the month.
We will.
And, yeah, I think hopefully I'll be more interesting next week.
I think you're plenty interesting.
I like your watch band. That's pretty.
Oh, that's Birdie Parker. Isn't that nice?
It's
Let's
got
show
little
her
knit
now.
stitches.
Yep. Oh,
It's very cute.
yep. I got it when she had her moving sale.
Yeah, I remember.
And it is lovely and it fits great and I just enjoy it. So I had to I shattered the screen protector on my watch by hitting it into a doorknob the other day, and I was like, while I'm trading this out, I'll also put on my new watch band. Because I had an Amazon $10 special fake leather that was peeling and looked terrible, so I upgraded, and this is amazing and looks great. And it makes me look like a real adult. I mean, an adult in overalls. but
I
no
was,
adults.
I was using my rotary cutter the other day.
Oh no.
And was like cutting a
Triangle? Square?
I forget what they call it when you take two squares and you sew two lines and you cut it straight down the middle. Anyway, preparing to make like flying geese blocks.
Which are the best blocks.
And I put the ruler down, put my hand down to hold it, used the rotary cutter and cut off about a centimeter of nail. Well, not quite a centimeter, but
at least you got your nail.
Yeah, my nail was long enough that it caught everything.
That's
and I was
good.
like, I should probably pay better attention to what I'm doing. I'm going to lose a fingertip.
I would have to wear those gloves, like the chainmail gloves.
Or put a thimble on the end or something.
No, probably the chainmail gloves.
Michael has one for his left hand to hold when he uses
saw things. Yeah.
All right, now we're just babbling. We hope you guys have an awesome week and weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.